Alright, this is the game engine. Uh, this is the game engine right now. Unfortunately, earlier it was not able to record that window, but uh, I'm creating the same video. uh, I'll probably walk you through the code later on during the video when I embedded to the previous video, which was not able to record everything in this game engine video. Like one. So this is the game engine which is running here. It has the capability to add multiple objects in it, and you can add any kind of textures you want on the game engine, any kind of color. You can use a camera to move around, or you can need if you want to go closer, far away. It can basically walk you through everything up there. We have also the capability to swap the cameras. These are the cameras right there. This is a different camera that we are using rather than the earlier one, and you can just swap it back using the S key. Alright, and this is the basically all we can do right now. You can add any kind of textures, and we can use the wireframe models as well. Now I will walk you through the code as well, so just hang on with me. Thank you. Hi, this is Hemal. Uh, I'm just going to walk you through the game engine that we've been working on for my course, that's game engine in DePaul University. So we have basically created a simple game engine which takes in shaders, textures, models, and we have created this small systems for the games. Um, let's start off. We have basically used OpenGL, and we have created our own game libraries to showcase. It's basically we created a file, a math library, and a PCS tree, which is a tree data structure. Alright, let's walk you through the library. Uh, we have this file libraries that makes us do the open, read, write, and all kind of commands. It's basically a wrapper class that's a math library, which basically use matrix and vector multiplications and everything. PCS3 includes a node teach tree kind of data structure, and this basically OpenGL libraries. Okay, uh, let's start off with the main. This is basically the simple which basically open your windows. Uh, all the main functions are done in the game.cpp file, which has all the updates, draws, load, unload, and all kind of functions. Um, let's just show you what this can do. So this game engine basically is running OpenGL, and it can create this all objects, textures, different textures on them. We can move around the cameras, rotate them, bring them closer, walk around with the cameras and everything. So what we are doing is we are basically creating multiple camera support, where I have two cameras here. We are creating a new camera up here, setting all the datas. There is another camera we are using. These are all the models that we are loaded, and then these are all the shaders. All the textures files can be seen. These are all the graphics objects which we'll be using, implementing. So what we have done is we create a graphics object and added it to the game object. We'll include the model up in the graphics object so that we can create whatever graphics object we want. It's a cube model, so we're taking the first one is the cube model. We create it, we set the position, we give the delta and rotations, and we basically add it to the main hierarchy up here, which is being called in the game object.cpp, where we have all the matrices and vectors for the rotations and the model view and projection for this. I also added this to rotation, where by default they are Y and Z, but we can set them later on, whatever kind of rotation we want to put on the object for. So once we load the graphics object here, it sets everything and it does all the setting of rotation, scales, positions. It does the draw and everything for the game objects. This is the manager, which keeps on running the loop of update and draws all the game objects in here. Let me show you how it works. So for the camera, I have used an S key to exchange the swap the cameras. So if you just press S, it's gonna swap the cameras like this. If you can press S again, you come back to the original camera in its rotation up here. And both cameras can work well with the movements and everything. So we have created the different graphics objects. This is a sample graphic object that I created using the latest shader. Unfortunately, it is not probably working so well with me for now, but I'm probably gonna try and make it more better. Okay. These are all the models we have used. You can see the models. We have cube, we have cylinder, we have pyramid, we have sphere. They basically follow the same structure of vertex. They load from the file, and you can see here we are adding the game objects to the tree structure, and here are our game objects. There are all 16 of them. This is the update function where we are doing all the input keyboard mapping and updating the cameras and everything. This is for the camera swap. This is our rotations. This down here is for getting closer and getting far to the screen. And this here draws our objects and everything. Once we close this game a game engine, it's basically gonna call the unload content, where it deletes the camera and whatever we have created, and we are deleting all the textures and the game objects we have created right there, which is getting called up back in the game object manager. And the game object manager, it calls the remove function, where it removes all the objects in the list. We just have to pass the parent, that's the root node, and it basically does all works. we are using TGA texture files, which basically uh, uh, sets the texture in the texture manager. It's similar to our game object manager, which adds and removes the function and basically loads the details of the texture specifically. And we are setting, if we have any new kind of texture, we just add the texture to a hierarchy and sets it.